up with it. Well, they're ready to drop it right about now. Not quite. There they go. That's where the big part is right in there. Now they're going back up to spring metal. Dump it right where I think they're going to dump it.
Yeah, he's really low again.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of flame kind of right above where they're at. Because yeah, I can't see anything in there. It's like the valley. Oh.
He just dropped that straight down. He didn't even.
Good morning from Big Sky Country. I'm Stacy, owner of Montana Used Bricks. And I was just going to do a really quick summer update, number 2, but I had a couple of questions in the comments, so I thought I would do another this and that. Hopefully in September, mid-September, I will get back to doing some more tutorial type videos, but like I keep saying, I'm running out of ideas, and this is the best I can do right now. So thank you to everybody who has left comments, and especially questions in the comments, because it does give me something to discuss on the video. So I have 4 of them that I'm going to go over. The first one is, I'm not a seller, but a buyer. I have a few questions about using coupons. The only time I have used them are when I repeat buy at a store and the seller seemed to have automatically set it up to give me a discount for being a return customer. How do I find out if I have coupons I can apply to an order? How do I apply a coupon to an order? Thank you for any help you can give me. This one is relatively simple. When you go into Bricklink, you can go to My Bricklink, your Bricklink page, scroll down to the bottom, and it's going to tell you how many open coupons you have at the time. And I will try to remember to put a picture up here of mine. I have a couple of open ones right now. And what you can do is just click on that link to the store, order like you normally do, and it will put that coupon toward your order. So it's really easy to use. I'm like a lot of people, I forget that I have coupons. I don't go to look to see if I have coupons. So a lot of my coupons expire before I actually use them. I really need to get in the habit of checking those stores for the parts that I need before I go out and do a search for parts on my wanted list, because I think I would probably be able to get a lot of the parts at these stores since I've ordered from them before. It's always a good idea to check to see if you have any open coupons and to see if the store has the parts that you're looking for. And this one came, I think, from one of my store tours or how I organize. And the question was, how do you store used and new parts? I'm very confused if you put them together or not. And no, we don't put them together. We have about 6 of these stack-ons that we have set aside specifically for new parts. And when we put them into inventory, we put an N in front of the drawer number so that we know they're new. We also have several of the smaller boxes, but those also say box new and then the box number, so that the new parts are always separate from the used parts. When there are new parts on an order, we will bag them separately from the used parts as well. That way the buyer knows that those are the new parts. There are exceptions to that. If they're only buying 3 parts from my store, then I will probably put the new part in with the used parts, because it's pretty obvious which is the new and the used. Okay, and this next one comes from a Lego haul video I did. I had a minifigure in this Lego haul that I couldn't figure out what it was for. I hadn't ordered it, and I couldn't figure out why it would be on my husband's list, because it was a Ninjago minifigure and he doesn't collect Ninjago. It wasn't even a Ninjago collectible. So I wasn't sure why this minifigure was on our wanted list. I knew why we ordered it because it was on the wanted list, but then once I got to looking, it's like, why was that even there? And so this person asked, did you figure out what the minifigure was for? Hello from England, by the way, love your videos. So after I did the Lego haul video, I took the minifigure into my husband and I asked him if it was something from his wanted list. And he goes, I don't think so. I don't collect Ninjago. I said, well, I know, but it was on the wanted list. He went and did some digging and some researching and figured out that what he really wanted was just the torso for that minifigure. He didn't want the whole minifigure, but for whatever reason, he put the whole minifigure on the wanted list. So we ended up with a minifigure that we'll probably just resell, and he still needs to get the torso to complete that minifigure for us to sell. So sometimes it might be a good idea to go through your wanted list and make notes, because there is a remarks section on the wanted list, and just make a note. If it's kind of an oddball part, make a note what it's for or why you're ordering that part. So if you don't order it right away, later on down the road, you'll remember why you ordered it. Just a suggestion. Okay, and this question has come up probably, I don't know, about 3 or 4 times now, and I think I've answered it every time, but it bears repeating in my mind because depending on what happens, it could end up being a mess. So here's the question. You mentioned that you use OxyClean for the whites. Do you find that this does the trick for yellowed white, or is peroxide still the only option in restoring these bricks to their original color? So as I've said before, me personally, I have not had success with using the peroxide. And for those of you that don't know, it's this trick of putting yellowed white parts into peroxide, setting them in the sun for a day or so, and then it whitens them up. And it works great. Don't get me wrong. It works great. For me, however, and I don't know if it's the brand I'm using or I'm using the wrong type of peroxide, I don't know. But after several weeks to several months, the parts that I have put into the peroxide yellow. And they yellow even worse than they were before I put them in the peroxide. So I always caution people that it's a quick fix. For me, at least. I'm sure there's probably people out there it works, but for me, it was a quick fix. So the parts would look white, but I would whiten them up and they'd look great. I put them in the drawers, and then a couple months later when I went to pull the part, it would be yellowed because it just does not stay white. So my suggestion, I did reply to this comment, and my suggestion was find somebody who has had long-term success. In other words, they've used the peroxide, they've held on to that part for several months, and it did not yellow. If they're doing that, I'm not talking about they took it out of the peroxide, it's white, it's beautiful, I'm going to sell it tomorrow. I'm talking about having that part in the peroxide and then rinsing it off, setting it aside for several weeks to a month, go back and see what it looks like then, if it's still white. If there are sellers out there who have done this and had success routinely, that the parts have stayed white after several weeks to several months, then I would suggest that contact that seller, find out what brand they're using of the peroxide and exactly how they're using it. Are they mixing it with water? Are they using it just straight peroxide? How long are they leaving it in the sun? And what type of success are they having? That would be my suggestion. I don't do it anymore just because it's been a bad experience for me, and I've lost probably several hundred parts due to yellowing trying to use the peroxide. So use caution. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it hasn't worked for me. So I would suggest anybody who does it to use caution. And like I said, don't sell them right away, because you may be selling them a white part today, but when they go to use it a month from now, it may not be white. So just keep that in mind if you use the peroxide. As for the OxyClean, it doesn't remove the yellowing as such. there's a part that's slightly off-white, starting to get to the point where it's starting to yellow. Sometimes it will brighten it up, not always. At this point, I have enough parts in my store that I'm comfortable that if it's yellowed, I just throw it into the filler box. It's not worth the time and hassle and me trying to determine just how yellow is yellow and what people will want. If it's noticeably yellow, it gets tossed in the filler box. Okay, that's pretty much it for me today. It's not a very long video. I did want to say that summer is progressing. We did finally take our trailer out a couple of weeks ago, and I will put some pictures of the campsite and the lake that we stayed at. I got up early one morning just to go out and watch the sunrise over the mountain with the sun hitting the lake. It was absolutely gorgeous. And that trip really reminded both my husband and I how much we missed camping. We have not been camping in 3 years, and going out there just told us how much we missed it. And there was just beautiful sights. It was a place we hadn't camped before. I'm not sure why, probably because it's on the lake, and usually the lake is really busy, but we went Sunday to Tuesday, and it was really quiet and peaceful and very relaxing. We're hoping to get out again in a couple of weeks. The weather should be a little bit cooler, but we're planning on doing more walking and less playing in the lake, so it should be a good trip. And hopefully I'll get some pictures of that as well, so you guys can see how pretty Montana is. So that's it for this week. I don't think I will have a video next week because next week is Labor Day weekend and we have a lot going on. So it may be another couple weeks before I get another video out. So I hope everybody is having a great end of summer and looking forward to fall when it might be a little bit cooler and having a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.